The kitchen was small, very small. It was full of tiny things, tiny bowls, tiny spoons, and a tiny oven. Two little chefs worked in this kitchen. They were called Pip and Pop. Pip was small, even for a little chef. He had a big hat and an even bigger smile. Pop was a little taller. He wore a spotted apron and had flour on his nose. It was the start of a busy day. "We must bake the biggest cake," Pip said. "The biggest cake ever seen." Pop nodded. He loved the challenge. They were ready to start baking. Pip pushed a small stool. He climbed to reach the counter. Pop handed him a tiny bag of flour. It was lighter than a feather. Pip carefully poured the flour into a bowl. Pop cracked a miniature egg. The sound was a tiny crack. They added a pinch of sugar. It looked like a tiny grain of sand. They mixed everything together. The batter was ready. It was time to bake. Pip carefully poured the batter into a tiny cake tin. Pop opened the miniature oven door. They put the tin inside. The little chefs waited. They watched the cake bake. Suddenly there was a loud thump. Pip jumped. He knocked over the bag of flour. "Oh no!" cried Pip. Flour went everywhere. It covered Pip from head to toe. He looked like a tiny snowman. Pop started to laugh. "Don't worry," Pop chuckled. He grabbed a tiny feather. He used it to brush the flour off Pip. The kitchen was messy, but they were still smiling. The timer pinged. The cake was ready. Pip and Pop carefully took it out of the oven. The kitchen was filled with a lovely smell. The cake was perfect. It was small, of course, but perfectly formed. They added tiny frosting flowers. They were proud of their work. Pip took a tiny bite. "Delicious!" he exclaimed. Pop nodded in agreement. It was the tastiest tiny cake in the world. They knew they had baked something special.